Hi guys, how are you? So I had this scheduled live for tonight and I tried to go do it twice, and both times, the first time I don't think it was set to the right viewership or something, I don't think it was public, and then the second time it wasn't, it was clicking and then it just failed. And I feel like it's for a reason, because this has been a very, very, very fucking difficult time for me. In a few different ways. My 7-Eleven passed away this week unexpectedly, and she was one of the least, in my mind, that would go. And I just don't understand how, I understand, but I don't. And I've been, upset because of it, and they've been upset because of it. And also, I have a freaking, really bad sore tooth. I don't know if you can tell. This is the side that's sore. It feels, and my lip, has been, leaning to one side. So that hurts really bad. Feet hurt. And there's just been a lot going on in my life as of late. That's why things have been a certain way for me, and in terms of content and all of that, and the lack thereof, because I was basically just trying to shrink. I was trying to avoid any unnecessary extra shit, because I've been under heavy rah. And I know I have, and this is the thing. When you're under these things, other people may not see it because they're not you. They're not going to have the same experiences. But there may be some that do see it or are going through it on their own. And that's what I've also been finding too at this point, is because I have finally verbalized it or shared some of what I've been going through. The phone listens to everything, so it starts to target stuff at you. But I've also noticed more and more stuff has been popping up to do very, very much specifically with similar themes, where you may feel you're going through something specifically, and the dynamics are strange, and it may be something that's happened your whole life, and it may have happened in different degrees, or it may have gotten more intense over time. I always tell people similar stuff, people either love me or hate me. Strangers come up to me and tell me their stuff. Sometimes when I meet people, they get fucking strange and weird, and they do things that are uncomfortable on my end of it, but usually leads to what the fuck. It's weird. There's a lot of weird shit on this planet. There's a lot of weird people on this planet, and I'm not somebody that likes to just be like narcissist, but when you are looking for the term to describe all of what encompasses what I'm trying to relay, fits it. Those who come in and maybe love bomb 333, and those who come in and behave in a strange way that is uncomfortable for you and overwhelming, and at different points in your life may not have been as noticeable or much of a red flag as it becomes later on in life, when you recognize, oh wait a minute, this is a pattern. So and so did this, and so and so did this, and so did this, and here we are with another so and so doing this. And you know what I just motherfucking noticed? I just noticed he doesn't have his little boopity bop. I don't even know when that happened. I think he was fine not that long ago. I'm so sick and tired of shit, man. I'm so sick and tired of shit. I'm on my breaking point. I really am. Because you can only take so much bull motherfucking shit. I'm always the one people come to, tell stuff to. I'm always the one that's doing the readings for everybody. And yeah, I might put some of my stuff into the readings, like ba-ba-ba-da-boop, a little bit of a jumping point, or a for instance. However, I do keep most and much of what I am struggling or dealing with to myself, and also as a result of some of what I've been dealing with and struggling with, that's as another aspect of it, where You don't want to have retaliation against you just for being you, which is a part of some of the stuff that people go through, where it's like literally your resistance triggers people. And it's like, you're not trying, you didn't do anything, you're not intentionally like baba ha ha ha, let me be alive and grr. But some people don't like that you are alive, or they don't like the energy that you present. And you would think that if they were somebody that felt that way, they would just disconnect and not look, but they don't. And so it's been intense, you know. I've been going through other stuff, like court stuff, and discovering things and realizing, like, I've known for a while that how certain stuff has played out is fucked up. Like, it's not cool, it's not okay. Like, normal healthy people don't do those types of things and not expect that it would be detrimental to another human being. It's not something you would do. Or like the timing of these things that happen too, when you reflect on it, it's like, that's really a fucked up time to come do XYZ. And then after all this other time, decide to do XYZ and not even acknowledge stuff. And it's like, you know, and it's again, it's a theme, it's a thing, and it's done in a way intentionally a lot of times. Sometimes the people who are doing it are not intentional, and that could be a whole other level of it, is that when you are a psychic or intuitive or empath, you may notice stuff about individuals and recognize that, like, well, I feel like, you know, there's this influence happening here that may not be like them themselves 100%, or they may not be 100% conscious of the stuff that they do, but it doesn't stop them from being in the energy or doing the things that they're doing, or having the, you know, result. So it's a difficult place to be, and like your empathy wants to take over, and that's why you usually are a target of certain people, because they know, they see that you're kind, they see that you're nice, they see that you aren't somebody that's going to, you know, be a bitch, just not like and you know, people take advantage of that, and it's not always the best experience to deal with. And you know, we have a strong connection with animals, so when a pet passes unexpectedly, that dog was like the most active, happy, like crazy one that I have. And like anytime I would move, she was like, oh, where we going, like so excited, so hyper, so much energy. And like none of the other, like the, like Monoman and her would go in the pool, but like she was a hardcore pool freak. Like, loved the pool, wanted the hose on. Like, if you could just leave the hose on endlessly, she wanted it on. And she would, like, run around and jump and just, like, just be so excited all the time, and such a happy dog. And she just fucking, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, it does, like, and the lady that because I ran to an emergency thing, because I came home, and I see her, and she's struggling to breathe, and when I pick her up, she's like limp in my hands. I was like hitting her chest to help her, and she did get better by the time we got to where we were going, but she was still not 100%. She needed oxygen, and there was stuff wrong, and the lady was just like, I don't want to lead you in the wrong, you know, like ideas here, and I'm 99% sure that it's this. And anytime I've done that, I've had dogs that have passed away in the process of doing it. And like, you know, I don't have everything here in this place, so I could always send her to another place that's more equipped, and then might keep for 3 or 4 days and see if she improves, which she may not. But if she does, you would end up having to be like taking to her specialist and putting on medicine for the rest of her life, and there's no guarantee that this won't happen again. Like this thing that was going on where she was fine. Friday night, I had noticed that when she would go to sleep, she sounded different, because she would always be like excited dog, very excited, always like wanted to go out, wanted to do something, like, you know, she was just excited and happy to do anything. It didn't matter. And so I thought that she was like sitting behind me, like begging a couple of times, but when I turned, she was asleep. And so she was breathing differently than she normally did. And then, like, she was, like, my dad even said, he's like, he saw her in the morning, like, it did not seem like she had, like, a massive thing going on with herself. But by the time we got home, she was definitely having something bad, and, you know, in the position, like, like having her neck extended, trying to breathe, and I don't know. I thought maybe it was from the pool because they can dry drown or they can have, something happen. But this lady said that she had a heart murmur and that there was other stuff going on, and like because of where the stuff like within her was located and blah blah blah. I don't know. And I asked the lady, I was like, what would you do? And she said she would put the dog down, so put her down. I don't want her to suffer. I didn't want her to not be able to breathe. Because I know it sucks. I watched my mom die with COPD and not be able to breathe. And it's like, the things that were going on was on the left side. And I've been struggling on my left side the most. And when Sadie died, I felt like she was taking an energetic hit for myself. And I believe Seven kind of did the same. And I'm so fucking sick and tired of having hits to be taken. I'm sick and tired of fucking hurting. And I'm sick and tired of how much shit just happens and the stuff that's going on everywhere. There's so many layers to things, and I see stuff differently than a lot of people do. I know some of the people that follow probably see things similarly or have the eyes to realize that like some of what we're seeing is not being portrayed correctly, but then everybody gets fucking offended and dumb and like can't comprehend or just doesn't want to comprehend what you're trying to relay. And so it's like sometimes I want to keep my mouth shut just because I know not everybody's ready to hear certain stuff, or it doesn't matter even if you make the most fucking logical sense and they actually do get what you're saying. If they had started off on the opposite side, they're most likely not going to want to bend to be like, oh, you know what, you're right, because ego. And there's a lot of that in our world. A lot of people just being horrible to each other, being disgusting to each other, and like I look at things from like a multi-dimensional type of thing, like a multi-perspective, where I try to like, think about it on a different type of thing, not just from this side, not just from that side, not just as a girl, not just as like a human, not just as whatever, not as a conspiracy theorist, but whatever is presented, I look at it and I'm like, that's weird, and like the whole thing that happened with the dude that just lost his life, it seems weird that like that happened right after this other person had lost their life, and they both have the neck as the area that was a target, and they're both like on video, very close up, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird thing. Like especially the one on the bus, the girl on the bus, it was like we had multiple angles of her get on the bus, sit down on the bus, and then it was like zoomed right in on her as she's on the bus. And I didn't get to see the fullness of it. I just saw like that part, and then like the after part where the dude's walking around dripping blood. But when I'm watching him do so, I didn't see any on her from any of the supposed, because I thought he only did one spot at first. I thought he only got her on one spot. But then I hear that no, there was multiple, and it was in the neck, right? And I didn't see a lot of anything that would indicate that that was happening, But again, I didn't see the full thing, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen. Sometimes these things do actually happen, but they're happening for ulterior motives. They're happening as a like planned thing somebody's being paid to do because it, moves the agenda along, or it, causes more separation and divide. It does something, and I saw it doing something like instantaneously across the world. People they can't separate themselves. They want to blame the right or the left. It's all of these blah blah blahs. These, all of them, every single one of them, blah blah blah. For one person's actions, it's all of them. And the same thing with the other dude there that was doing a chat. It's just even the way that he what he was saying, the last words that he says, and then boom, and that whole thing, right? Some people are feeling like maybe it was not supposed, like maybe it was an accident, like, like it ricocheted and we didn't actually want that to happen. But another thing that I found that was interesting, and I want you to think about this, like we have these things happen all the time, right? We have people who have an event, something occurs, and it goes bad. And when it does, sometimes there's theories that come up and people who dismiss and think that certain stuff. However, in this case, there seems to be a theme where there's a book that's already been written, actually several books, which I know we have AI that can write a book, okay? But when you submit a book onto Amazon, it takes 72 hours usually to at least to have your book like approved to be on there to sell. And one of the books that was up on there was published on the 9th. The person didn't have their event happen till the 10th. And even if they did have it happen on the 10th and today's the 11th, how are they getting all these books up there already fully like, oh, we did a deep dive into all of this stuff, to this thing and that thing and all the dynamics and all of the witnesses and and again, I know AI can write it very quickly. However, AI doesn't make it happen to be like, oh, so now it's instantaneously just accepted and prepared. And there was like a soft version of it, like this is an actual book that's going to be printed out to be purchased. It's a soft cover book. It's not a hardcover book, and it's not a digital book. It's a soft cover, but it's still, you print that. And I don't know. And I noticed more than one person sharing it. And I said to someone earlier today, I was like, because they were like, they didn't know about these things. And I was like, for some reason, whenever any of this shit happens, it's the top of my feed on all the platforms, no matter what. And I feel like that's for a reason. It's like they show me this shit, and it's like I always have instantaneous, like, and I usually keep it to myself because of the blowback and the fighting and the separation and the divide. But I have my thoughts about it, and I've been being guided to stop fucking keeping my thoughts to myself and stop fucking protecting assholes and stop fucking like letting things happen, because if I continue to do so, I'm going to continue to lose things. I'm going to continue to be under the, like, fucking influence of shit, you know? And, like, the night that 7 passed, I had come home. I've been hearing Melchizedek, Michael, and Metatron nonstop. And I have, like, I am planning on doing a thing. I feel like that's another reason why I'm going to schedule the live for tomorrow night. And I'm going to, I have like a couple of like little things I gotta do for people, but I've been planning on doing this, and I wanted to do it on different time. I wanted to do it for the 9/9, and I've been seeing 9/11 nonstop, so I guess it's okay. You know, we had the eclipse and we have the full moon, but like when your pet passes, I'm sure some of you can understand, like things halt, you know. And I've been getting a lot of stuff from her and Spirit. And I'm just trying to take care of myself. Like, my fucking face hurts. Like, my fucking tooth hurts. My whole heart hurts. Like, I really fucking hurt from it. It just was not, I try to mentally and emotionally prepare for it. And I'm like, Mona's the oldest. And then Honey Bunny. And then Sirius. And then 7-Eleven and Alcyon are the youngest. And so, I was not prepared. But I do have a bunch that I wrote in connection, because again, I've been getting guided, and this is another thing. It's like when you're being guided to protect yourself or do something specific, as a channel, as a healer, as somebody that used to make content on multiple channels, on multiple places, on like multiple times a day even, and then you go to like really not doing so. I've heard from multiple people who are backing this up at this point, that can be the sign of an indication somebody might be like psychically draining you. People want, like you might hear about destiny swapping and, you know, things like that. And there are people out there that will plug in to your energy and want to drain it. And they thrive the more that you are upset, the more that bad things happen, the more that you're physically knocked down, the more you're emotionally in upheaval, the more that you silence your voice, the more that you struggle and suffer, the more that you let them get away with their bullshit and assholisms. And it's like, you know, And if you came from a place of feeling good and up to high vibrational and the light was shining and good things are happening and you had, a good amount of abundance and support and ancestral help and you're divinely connected to a divinely fucking supported situation, every person you've ever read for, everything that you've ever shared has for the most part had really nice positive support and feedback. I haven't really had anybody be like, oh my God, that was, maybe they didn't like it, but they didn't choose to tell me about it. But for the most part, I've had a lot of good stuff, the light, the illumination, the happiness, the joy, feeling like I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing. And the more that I give, the more I receive. And the more that time has gone on, I've noticed that it's even just when I leave this fucking house, when I get in the car and I drive, it's this weight, this veil comes off of me, and I have all of this information come into my head again, and it's oh my God, and I want to share a bunch of shit right in that moment, and it's because I'm not in this fucking house. And believe me, I don't want to be in this house at all, and I wish that I was in a position to have already been gone from this house, but I'm not. And it's insanely ridiculous to try to find a place around this area. I looked from Massachusetts down to Texas and back, and all of the places that are above North Carolina are triple the amount of money than they are down there. And at one point, my dad was like, I'm going to go with so-and-so. And so that cut my ability to make, rent. He only told me this, very short time before we were supposed to move. And I'm like, okay, so we just went from having what we have a month and being able to prove, because they all want to know, 2.5 to 3 times more than blah, blah, blah. And I don't have that for what I, for anything here in this fucking state. Nothing. There's nothing in this state that is even somewhat I saw a studio apartment that was over $2,000 for a studio apartment, and I was like, no, because I can go south and get a whole fucking house with a fenced yard and everything that I would ever need for $700 a month, and I'm not kidding. And I'm like, and I didn't know that until I looked, which I feel was another reason for that. I feel like they do want me to go south. I've always liked it down there. I've wanted to go down there for so long. But, again, it takes time, energy, money, resources to do so. And it's difficult because a lot of people that are down there, they probably think you're a scammer being like, I want to just move down there. Yeah, no, sight unseen. Let me just come. Because I really don't have the fucking time, you know what I mean? I'm glad, yeah, that looks fine. I trust you. Can I, but, there's been so many other things that have been going on. And then my dad was like, oh, I can't go, ba-ba-ba-da-ba. So, and he had been flippity-flopping with that. And because I'm not a fucking asshole, I'm not a piece of shit, I was I held off on putting my thing in that I was putting in for a place that would have been perfect. And it was not that far down. It wouldn't have taken me so long to get there. It had the fence yard. It was brand new inside. It was gorgeous. It even had 2 bedrooms, but, because he was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, I didn't submit my thing that night, and then the next time that I went to submit it, I had just missed it. And this person had already known my circumstance. They knew how many dogs I had. They knew my circumstance with my credit. They knew everything. They were okay with everything. But somebody beat me to it, and I, can't whatever. And then a lot of these places want you to just pay to have your applications go in, and they don't guarantee, and it's very hard to talk to some of them. There's some places that have massive amounts of things for great prices, but it's hard to get somebody on the phone for certain stuff, because some of it is private houses that are using them as a place that rents it for them, and then there's others that are under the umbrella of the company and so most of them are brand new built. However, I also noticed that they like to lie about some of the stuff. So I don't they have their website, they have their pictures, they have a 3D thing. So again, I don't need to come see the house, because I just went through the whole 3D thing of the entire house. I saw it, every fucking room, every corner, every nook and cranny. And I liked a lot of the ones that I saw. However, you got into the yard and you look, and it's wait a minute, I don't want to be fucking squished like this. Or they try to make it look in the pictures that there's this big huge empty yard. And then when you like look, that's not, no. And then you get on Google View, because Google has like, you know, the street view and all that, you realize that no, it's definitely not that. There was a place down there that like, this place had bought this this land, right? There was nothing on this land, and there was houses on the other side of the street, and there was like a big apartment building there, and a lot of people that were down there. And there was even like a dirt road that had been just like created by foot people walking, and like, you know, made it into like a half-ass road, like you could see drive marks down it. And that's where all the kids are playing, and that's where all the people were like always kind of hanging out outside. So this company purchased that lot of land, and instead of being like, you know, decent, normal, healthy, not fucking greedy, instead of, you know, maybe just putting up like 2 or 3 houses, they put up 7 fucking brand new houses within like a year. And they're like this far apart from each other. And the one on the end is this far away from train tracks. And on the other side of it, like the back of it, is a fucking like Joe's Market, which is like a mini grocery store, which is basically just like a convenience store that I definitely would not be eating any groceries out of. And across from it, you like, because, you know, Google comes down every once in a while with the camera on top. I swear to God, there was a guy sitting there that looked like Coolio. He had the Coolio things. And then you like scan over a little bit, and there's a bunch of people sitting there like glaring over here. And on the thing, on most of the houses, they had chains, because most of the houses were still vacant. And like the one that wasn't vacant, the people were moving out of. And there was like a sign that was like, if you fuck up the property, we're going to charge you a fee of like $2,000. And I'm like, obviously they're not too fucking thrilled with the fact that you just put 7 of these things here, took out the place that their kids were playing, got rid of the whole like side street that they used to get down to the market there. And I'm sure it was loud and obnoxious. However, it's not the people that would rent those places' fault for what that company did. But regardless, I wouldn't feel comfortable there. It was a dead-end street. You could tell that the people that were there were not too thrilled with the situation. I could just feel it. I could feel it. And when I had said it, it was like 27, 27, 27, 27, 27, like tons of 27s. I was like, okay. Because I felt bad. I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like, but no. They definitely weren't thrilled about it. And I don't think it would be a safe place for me. Because at that time, I would have been going by myself. And it's 27, 22, okay? Yeah, so, confirmation. I have to be careful. And I did that for all of these places. But what I think that place originally did was take a picture of the empty lot before any of the houses were built. And then we're like, look at all this nice backyard you got. No. And when they take pictures of the house, they do it at such an angle that you can't tell that there's a house. Like, literally, like, if you put your hand out the fucking side window, you can touch. They don't show you that the train is rushing by on the other side of it, like, this far away. They don't show you what even any of it. And they did that on many of them. So I would always go onto the Google and the Street View, and I would go back through time. And I noticed there was a theme, too, with a lot of places. It was like, a place would be nice, rented, and then it was like empty, dilapidated, and then they like do it over, they fix it up, someone rents it, nice, and then it's like dilapidated, and it's like they goes through this like up and down thing. Meanwhile, every other house is totally the same, fine, whatever, maybe some of them get painted or whatever, but it's like some houses just don't want people to be living in them, and they're not meant to continue on with having that play out. But yeah, I looked a lot. I did that whole fucking researching, applying, asking, searching, and fucking around with the whole and it pisses me off. It pissed me off. We had a huge fight about it because I finally, and that's another thing, I stood up there too and I said something. I was like, dude, like, you waited until like we had like 3 weeks to go, and you drop a bomb on me that like, oh, you gotta go live with Laura. And that's like, that's a big fucking whoa. What do you mean? Because it goes from like, you know what I mean? It goes from having a dual income to one, and then there's absolutely nowhere around here that I'm gonna find for that. And then the people that I was asking about, there was a dude that told me about like 3 different options, and none of them ended up panning out. And then another person was like, oh, you can do this, come rent this. And it would have been a lot more money than what I pay here. And they ended up fucking having a foreclosure, and they're not even in that house anymore. They're fucking gone. So I would have been homeless again in like a month. So yeah, like there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and obviously there's just, there's a lot energetically, there's a lot emotionally, there's a lot spiritually, and I don't think I'm the only one going through it. However, I do feel like we're coming to the end of it, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I've been getting like the signs and the synchronicity, and the messages that I get is just like, holy shit, man. Like, there's a lot going on that I see, and I just know. And like the mirror stuff, right? I keep getting, there was a person I saw the other day that was talking about how I knew that I was like under psychic attack. She didn't even mean to say mirror, and she said mirror. Okay? And this says denial. I can't accept it. Denial. Okay? Sometimes people, like I said, will want to drain your life force, or they will do something where it's like they mirror your actions. They pretend to be like you, but they're not actually like you. Like they may do the same thing and pretend that they like the same stuff and put on a good show, but at the end of the day, it's manipulation. Okay? And it's like, I know what you want, right? It's like they know who you are because they've watched you. And like Francesca, she's a woman on Instagram I see all the time. Like she was saying it too. She's like, if somebody comes to you and finds you and reaches out to you and gets into your experience, into your energy, and then like does fucked up shit, that's them being, messed up. Like, you didn't ask them to seek you out. You didn't ask them to come, connect with your personal life. You didn't ask them to do the things that they do. And because of that manipulation, a lot of times they don't even see it. They pretend like, oh no, I didn't do anything wrong. And they believe that they didn't do anything wrong, because that's a part of the fucking thing with these people, is that there is a denial and a manipulation so strong that they often believe it. But there's also rage, there's also darkness, there's also other stuff that, and again, a lot of us have this stuff. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm perfect and don't have rage or sadness or things that I don't always catch about myself. But I'm always seeking and trying to discover, and I'm open to healing and seeing from different perspectives. And like the whole thing with all these things going on, when I see like that book situation with that whole thing and the way that it played out and like what the guy was saying at the time that he had it happen, I'm not dismissing that it happened. I'm just dismissing that like it wasn't known that it was going to happen. Like, it's just weird. Where else have we seen that play out, where there's already a book fucking written and people are like, why does it say that it was like published the day before it happened even? And we have a published book the day before it happened, when it's supposed to take 72 hours to even get a book. Why was this book already written? Who already wrote it? Who was anticipating it happening? And then the thing with the girl on the bus. Is it like the guy says, I got that white girl, ah ha ha ha, and she's from Ukraine, and it's like, and I had saw that supposedly there was some like $25 million deal that Google just had with a place that was going to be for them, to help them with their fucking bullshit, with their lies, with their, what do they call it? You know what it's called? Like, it's like, oh, we're gonna lie to you. And they openly admit this. It's like, it's propaganda. They know, they call it that. And they get paid to do it. It's just like when COVID hit and they silenced doctors from Harvard. They silenced anybody that had a different opinion. That's a big indicator to me that they're not doing things right. There's a guy that does behavioral analyst. He was like in the CIA. Like, he's a very like highly intelligent officer. Okay, he's an intelligence officer. He knows body language. He knows mind stuff. He does have a YouTube channel at this point, but he's always been somebody that like that's his job. And he's like, he'll tell you what the signs of a freaking psyop are, or the signs of something that's not right. And is like all of this indicators. And he's like, and this is coming from somebody that's in the military, that uses these tactics to do like hardcore, like, let's get the truth out of this guy, this like person that's, hardcore, horrible man that's trying to destroy stuff. Let's get it, like, we're going to use these tactics. Like, this is somebody that's legitimately knows for sure. And he's like, whenever you have a situation where there's only one agenda that is like very hard pushed towards everybody, and anybody that has a question about it is like, like yelled at and mad at and silenced because they have a question, that's a big red flag. And the people that have the intelligence, the awareness, the understanding to know the medical stuff around it, people who normally would be like, oh, they're a Harvard doctor? Woo. When those people start getting silenced and only one side of the stuff is being allowed into the presentation, another big red flag. And when they are literally like trying so hard to get you, influence you, they're paying influencers, they're paying celebrities, they're putting it on this, we'll give you a cheeseburger, we'll give you this, we'll pay you. That's a big red flag. And there's something around it that you should be wary of, because that's not normal behavior. And we see it happen all the time. And we see, like, when these things happen, that are these two events that just happened, you can see instantaneously the divide manifest. You can see instantaneously one side blaming the other. And they're both wholeheartedly believing it towards each other, but they're both the same bird, you know? It would be like if a bird sat out there just like fucking with itself all the time and not flying anywhere because it's constantly trying to break its own fucking wings. Like, it's silly. And it's a design, it's a system that's been created for this. And again, knowing that every single person that we've had from the beginning to now is literally directly lined up and related to a king, tells me that it is nothing to do with what they lead you to think in terms of who is put into that position and who does have power while they're there. They're puppets. And there is a smaller group that is hidden away. And that's why people, who's they? Who's they? And it's like, if I say they, I'm probably going to be even harder under friggin' attack. And you don't know them. You don't know them. I don't know them. Wherever they are, they probably got clean air, clean food, clean everything, living the high life, because they also happen to just have enough money to feed every single person and house every single person on the planet. You know, very long time. They'd be totally capable. They have enough. But you think of, oh, Elon Musk. Elon Musk ain't got shit compared to these people. And it's all by design. It's all by design. And it goes back through time all the way. It's like the 13 bloodlines, or the boppity beepity boop, and like a lot of the stuff that you hear about within the religion or within the myths or within whatever is there. It's just people don't, they don't believe it, and that's because they've been made to think that it's silly and laugh it off. But if you actually spend some time, you'll realize how deeply ingrained and actually true a lot of stuff is. Now, but it's layered again. It's like, I believe that a lot of the shit that's written in the books that we got, the 66 books that happen to be left over of all the books that is available within the fucking Bible, I believe that there's truth within them. I believe that the ones that have been left out most likely have more truth than the ones that have been left in, because everything is inverted. But we can't trust fully whatever's in them because man has messed with them. Kings have played with them. Men in control. That's why it's like, it's such a, have you ever seen the Bibles be like, women are just horrible, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of stuff that's been going on, like I started having all the Bible stuff come up, and then somebody that I know has literally traveled to another place, and when they are, they're in temples and churches and ancient places, went into the Isis this and the Athena that, and into these places that have been, used in our history to worship these goddesses, and seeing firsthand some of the stuff. They got mermaids up in there in a church. They have a nun that they preserved that supposedly has a cross in her heart. She can't see the cross, but she's got a cross in her heart. You take their word for it, and you go there and you visit her. That's all wrapped up in her thing, and it's that type of stuff is money based. They're just trying to bring in the money by having something weird to do so. And look at, I just split and I got the Hierophant and the High Priestess. These are the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, I Am presences. This is our intuition. This is our soul. This is what tells us and lets us know when these things are kind of messed up and when these things might not be messed up, or where we can kind of lean towards there might be some truth in this. But we have to be very careful with that, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff here that is pushing us away from the truth and doesn't want us to know too much. And when we do start to know too much, that can be detrimental to you. Even the sun is a representation of the divine masculine. The emperor is like the 3D divine masculine, who can be seen as a manipulative, control freak, power hungry, arrogant, evil. It depends, but he's not always hunky-dory, happy-dappy, great guy. And look, I'm haunted by my own darkness and my inner misery. A lot of people that have that darkness, that have that misery, that feel inadequate, or may just have struggled in some way. And this is the thing, it sucks, because it's like, you've struggled too, right? I've struggled, we've all struggled, I'm still fucking struggling. However, I don't decide to be like, you know what? I'm gonna make you struggle now, or I'm gonna intend on purpose to fuck with you because someone fucked with me. It's like, no. But there's a lot of people out there that are like that. There's a lot of people who are evil, and we got to be aware of it so we stop fucking falling victim to it, because there's a lot of shit going on that's just not okay. Yeah, a lot of hidden stuff within our minds, within our beliefs, within our fucking communities, within the way that we're seeing things. Like I said, it's inverted. We need to flip our script. We need to see things from the right way, because there is a lot of greed. There is a lot of people out there that are doing stuff, and they think that they deserve it all. They want it all, and they think that they deserve it all, and they don't. Nobody does. Nobody should be living like that. It's like, the more you give, the more you receive. If you don't want to be a fucking, stop being, and it's hard, because once you don't have anything to give, it's hard to receive, right? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's under the surface that needs to be acknowledged. Belief systems and all that has been hindering us. And nurturing the inner child, tapping into your Empress energy, becoming a balance of the feminine and masculine is going to help people. And it's like, my life is dull and unfulfilled, bored. Sometimes what you're dealing with out here too is this a manifestation of people who are literally just bored. They got nothing going on, nothing better to do than to treat you poorly, because they, like, you again may trigger them because you don't seem bored, or because you, whatever, just something stupid. And then I saw this, in a sense, and it says, I swear I didn't do it. And it's like, the night that 7 passed, okay, I came home, I'm looking up Melchizedek, because Melchizedek, Metatron, Michael, they've been popping up, the 3 M's, which I didn't realize until, like, that night. And I wanted to see if there was anything else connected to Melchizedek, because what I was hearing about him was more so tied to, like, being RH negative and the royal righteousness and da-da-da-da-da. And yet he was born, as like another type of Christ, where it's like he wasn't conceived through sex. He was just born, but he was like also fully capable of like sitting up straight and washing himself off. He's just not a normal baby. But he runs the order of Melchizedek, and Jesus is part of that order. He's like the priest of the Melchizedek order. And when I looked it up, there was a website that I went to that had information about it, and the dude had a YouTube channel. So I clicked on it, and I was looking, and he had a lot of videos, a lot of interviews. But he had one from Alberto Volodo, which is the dude that bring us the Muneki from the place in Peru, which I received in 2015, and I shared on the channel, and it's like big thing in my life. It was like I went through all this other stuff, and once I did that, whoa, life changing. So it was weird to see Alberto on this person's YouTube, because like there's a lot of videos that had like 8 views, 5 views. Alberto is a worldwide like best-selling dude, PhD, doctor, college, a lot of stuff. Did a lot of stuff, and he has a YouTube channel with like a lot of people that watch it. And he's been on things that is like a lot more, wow. So it was just kind of weird. I'm like, that's weird. Like, just didn't expect to see him on there. So I clicked on it, and he was talking about how we can make ourselves sick with our mind, and we can make ourselves better with our mind. And that there's a lot of stuff that can be done. But here in our world, we're not always, welcome like to that stuff, because we have a lot of unnatural medical crap that they do to us that's unnecessary, It's not natural, and it's actually very detrimental. It makes you worse. Like, one thing of antibiotics messes a woman up so bad and causes depression and, doing your freaking birth control is basically poisoning yourself. There's a lot that people don't realize. I mean, just listen to the fucking commercial. And sometimes death. Like, that's a lot, That's a lot of shit that you shouldn't be just, like, willy-nilly with. But, yeah, he, wanted to go somewhere that wasn't interfering with things. So he went to Peru because it's all natural there, and he talked to the shamans, and the shamans let him know that, like, yeah, your energy, your intention, your beliefs, like the energy and the thoughts that you think is very powerful. We can heal and we can kill, and the shamans can kill you remotely with thought only. And it was like, because I had just had, and I felt, because I was not here with her when this happened to her. And there's other things that have gone on, specifically, like my left side being under attack. That's my feminine side. And, like, my feet being open, fucking oozing wounds. That's a difficult thing moving forward. It's my foundation. It's my root. It's my safety, my security. My basic needs were fucked over. And there's some people out there that aren't so innocent within it, They may think they are, but they might be deceiving themselves and others because, that's no. Certain things can't be said and done and then just be like, didn't do nothing. It's a law. It's a fucking law that if you do something to somebody and you have, like, you would have to know a little bit that, like, this most likely would impact this person, right? But if you do something to somebody, and then they do something that they would not have done, they live in a way that would be different than how they would have, hadn't you said or did what you did, it's against the law. And the ways that you prove it, I know I can prove, because I have massive amounts of shit. Like, and Spirit brings me stuff. They brought me a video transcript, like a video from 9 months ago pops up, and, like, within the first few seconds of it, I'm talking about how, like, overwhelmed I am, and, like, feeling like wanting to just, like, and angry, and don't know what I'm gonna do, and da-da-da-da-da, specifically to do with my basic needs and instincts and survival, because I had just kind of gone through, like, a what the fuck, like, things changed rapidly. It was like 2 weeks prior, one thing was said, and then 2 weeks later, another thing was said, which was just another rendition of something that had been continuously going on, that continuously seems to happen, not only with me, and I can see that very clearly, and other people can too, and there's other people, like, people chomping at the bit that want to be like, because people are angry, about this, because it's not okay, it's not okay and it's really not. And it's like, oh, do you have something that can show how much it has impacted? Do you have, yeah. And I got people that were right there throughout the whole thing. So things are not always as they appear. Sometimes people pretend like they didn't know and that they didn't do this, but maybe they did. And they may not have known that, maybe they didn't actually, like, plan it out ahead of time. But when they decide to do something else, they must know that that's going to be a bad thing. Or there could still, again, be that unconscious, subconscious belief systems that force, influence people into doing things that's not good. That's a sabotager, And I've had a lot of sabotagers in my life. And I've seen a lot of examples, just even in the past freaking cycle that I'm dealing with, of instances that would be a sabotage. And also recognizing and reflecting and being like, I wonder if that might actually be why this, and that. And also significant things that are letting me know in so many ways that, like, way worse something happened that is not good. And I do believe that just because of the shit that I'm seeing, with it, and the things that keep happening, and then fucking Alberto's there with his, like, the thing that, like, why are you even here? You know what I mean? And those are the things that let me know, like, this is something that only, like, like, again, it's not in my feed. It didn't show up in my algorithm. I went onto a website for Melchizedek, and here I go. I'm looking at fucking this crazy shit to do with all these other things. Like, they had stuff to do with, like, the whales singing and this happening and that happening. And then, boop, there's Alberto. And he's got, like, 30 views. This is, like, the video that the guy had the most views on. And it's like, there's a reason. There's a reason why I am seeing this, and there's a reason why they're showing it to me, and I, listen to it, and it's like, oh yeah, there you go, there's some confirmation that, maybe people are intentionally, because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, even the ones that do this to me, even the people that despise me, and even the people that I can now despise as well, I still wouldn't do that, because I know what the repercussions are of. And some of these people don't realize or believe this shit. Like, for some reason, they don't understand. And it's like, well, have you looked in the mirror lately? Because I think that if you sat back and reflected a little bit and thought about it, you might realize that you are having some stuff happen as a result of it. Look, remorse. I know I've messed up and it's killing me. That's another thing that I've been seeing too that lets me know that death magic might be at play with people, is that I keep getting these things where it's like, this person that has been screwing with you or messing with you, or anybody that's had, ill intention that they were directing your way, it looks like they might not be doing so well, and there's not much I could do about it. I didn't do it, and I don't do anything in because of. I just exist, and my guides and my ancestors and the universe handles it. But yeah, sometimes people do stuff that they shouldn't do because they're angry, or because they're fucking hostile, or because they're fucking envious, and they don't realize what they're doing to them goddamn selves, because you're far away, you're distant, but they're thinking about you, they're distracted by you, got you on the mind, and they can't seem to do what's right. And it's like, anybody that I've known over the years that, like, I knew personally and, like, spent time nearby, I could see physically on their body and in their energy what the result of their choices were. Like, if they were a liar, if they were doing certain things, if they were fucking with people's relationships, if they were, like, intentionally XYZ, or if they even were on the flip side of something and they were a victim of people's choices, or they were their choice to stay with people who lie, or to, deal with stuff that's not right. They need help. They become unhealthy. They get, messed up in those different area parts. And it's like, they trust people they shouldn't trust. And it's like, we deserve people that want to build and work together with us, that we don't have to, be fighting and dying at the hands of. And with the naive, a lot of people do look for people that they believe are naive. Now, if you're nice and you're sweet and you're loving and kind, they might think that you're stupid and naive and innocent to the point where they can get away with that. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet and loving and kind and nice. You will just, like, a lot of times, and I know, yeah, they will sabotage and deceive and build up over time, thinking, testing the waters. No, she didn't say anything. She's not, doing anything in return. She didn't tell anybody what I did. And they push and they fucking push and they fucking push until you can push no more. And for myself, as a Taurus, that's one of the things. It's like, I'm telling you, stop pushing. Stop fucking pushing, because you're going to push to the point where... And in my circumstance that I've been dealing with as well, I've noticed that there's a whole slew of people that have been left in the wake of circumstances. And so right there, I was like, I'm not, like, even my own family, there's things that have happened that would not have happened, that would never have had the opportunity to occur hadn't things been presented and done in a certain way. And because of that, it has not been okay. It's not fair. But justice and balance, keeper of the scales, is here, and there is going to be a total paradigm shift, a shocking new turn of events. So the lightning, which has been coming up synchronistically, and with the eyes of beauty, it's positive expectations and clarity. And even though my dog passed away, and even though my feet are open fucking bruises, and even though my face feels like it's gonna fucking pop, and even though, I got all this stuff going on, and even though it seems to be the theme that every time, I have somebody that's in my life that shows up pretending to love me so much, they end up being the really bad ones that don't at all. Even though that's the case, I still see that there's a reason for it all. I still believe that it's not going to be in vain. I still know and trust and feel that justice will be served, that things will work out the way that they're meant to, and it doesn't matter how it is or what is said or what is done. I fully 100% believe that whatever is meant to be will be. And I don't have to take it into my hands because I am protected. And again, sometimes that about you pisses people off way more, is the fact that you see the beauty in life and that you don't let this shit mess with you, or that you are intuitive and can pick up on it, and they don't like the fact that you can see through them, or that and sometimes they feel like, oh, you tricked them. No, you didn't trick them just because you let them get away with shit and fucking do stuff to the point over and over and over again. You kept your mouth shut until you didn't. That's to them. People have opportunities to fucking straighten this shit out, and if they don't, that's up to them to do. But your strength and your freedom bothers people, and so your strength inspires, and I'm ready to break free. I feel like a lot of people are inspired by your strength, but other people may be upset by your strength and not liking the fact that you have that strength to be independent, or that others do admire it about you, and that you do continuously transform through these things, and that you don't let it take you down, And you might be dealing with people that are unstable, and you may be unstable at times and feel like you're about to break. But even when you do break, you don't break others. You don't try to hurt others. You don't compare and contrast, because everybody's an individual and unique. And you don't let your inner self completely dwindle away. But for a lot of us, I think we were fucked up. Like, there's been a lot of things that I've seen recently that was like, oh my God, like I forgot, like, because I did feel like the innocence and the sweetness and the joy parts of myself were like, taken away, or like I didn't feel like the same person anymore. But that's a sign of somebody fucking draining your energy. You were their muse. You were their fucking source of fucking light. You were their creative light bulb, giving them their fucking inspiration. And a lot of them just want to be near you and looking at you so that they can copy you. It depends on the circumstance, because some people are literally just a copycat. And, they're going to act like you're fucked up. They're going to try to reject you in different ways and make you feel rejection. But really, they're there to learn and siphon and gossip and turn other people away and make other people reject you and make you question why. Because you don't know what happened. You don't know what, like, all of a sudden this person that I was really close with just disappeared. Or all of a sudden, like, everything that was happening stopped happening. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I've been careful about I'm going to do XYZ, or giving people too much information about what I am doing, trying to do, because outside energy can fuck it off. If outside energy can somebody, don't you think that it could interfere with other stuff? So we want to be mindful of what we are sharing with others. Surprise when it's done. And again, your warmth, your wild woman energy, the ability that you have, that faithfulness inside of you, it does bother people. But surrender to play is here. So I do feel like they're wanting us to, I see surrender to joy, surrender to play, like, and I see joy over here too. So joy is important. It's solar plexus. Let yourself have fun if you can. If you're, like, again, it's like my fucking face is starting to hurt even more right now just from talking a little bit. But have time out for yourself to play, to have fun, to disconnect from these people and these things, and know that you are going through a time of renewal. Okay, you're going to be renewing and restoring, and anybody that caused confusion or created stuff that was not, supportive, just allow yourself to have some more acceptance for whatever it is, grief, for whatever victimization you've been through. It's okay to be sad, and it's okay to feel your feelings. Just don't let them fucking drain you down to be insecure and hide away and not do what you're fucking here to do. Don't let them steal your destiny. Don't let them take away the truth of you. You have the key. You can open the door through your perception. You don't have to be lost in the facade anymore. You focus on gratitude. Trust your fucking instincts. You are in a quest for enlightenment, and you are the creator on this path, and you are wise, and you do have the wisdom that is needed to get through this, and you will have growth. Okay? And again, forgive and heal and let go. And that's going to bring in the soulmate people that are meant to be around you, the ones that aren't out to fucking lie or manipulate or harm, or maybe don't even realize what they're doing, but most of them do. They just want you to think that they don't, question yourself, and they fucking breadcrumb and gaslight, do a bunch of fucked up shit that's just not right. And you end up isolating yourself entirely away, and so don't do that either, Don't feel like everybody, and if you feel it on somebody, just get the fuck away from them. I think until we see, because like a lot of times I feel it on people, or I'm like, and then like I let them stick around and I let them continue to do what they do, and I question, because it's like it's a lonely world if you always fucking cut everybody out that has something up in them that's not going to be necessarily so nice, because a lot of people have shit up in them. It's just the degree of what it is, It's like somebody today I was talking to, and it's like I could feel them getting frustrated, and I called it before it even came through the message. But like in that situation, I'm comfortable to talk about, and it wasn't like me taking it personally, and it wasn't them wanting to attack me. It was them being fucking frustrated and overwhelmed and tired, and the way that the wording, and this happens a lot with me, is that like I say stuff as an answer to something that they're going to be saying now. It's like I just said, blah, 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 and here's their message that's like talking about, and then that pisses them off because it's like, ah! So then they say another thing, and it's like, as they're saying another thing, I'm saying something, like I was like, why don't you get an electrical bike, ba-ba-da-bee, and they were like, well, ba-ba-ba-ba, and like for whatever the first thing was, I had already sent like, well, ba-ba-ba-ba, and they come back, and as soon as I sent it, I get their thing that's like the no to the thing that I had just said. And then I was like, they have things now that you don't have to fucking worry about like finding a pole or whatever to hook it up to. You can just like, how like cars used to have the club, it's like bike have things like that now, so you don't have to like find. And like as I send that, I get boom, I don't know where I would hook it up out here. Like and I know that's gonna piss them off, because it's what happens is that they're telling me reasons why they don't want to do something, and it seems like I'm arguing with them. It seems like I'm trying to push them into doing something they don't want to do, and I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just saying it before they fucking get there. And it's because like I'm anticipating what they're saying, but I'm not at the same time. It's weird. It's a fucking psychic weird shit. But it was funny, and it was like, and then and I was like, I'm like, whatever, suffer, just suffer. I was like, you're just gonna fucking shoot down anything I tell you. And then I was like, you're getting bitchy. And as soon as I send that, here comes the, and I was like, see, here it is. And that makes them even more mad. But it was funny, and once they had a fucking burger, they were fine. But yeah, it's hard to be like dealing with stuff, but it doesn't have to be. Like, there's other people out there that you can't do that with. There's other people out there that like you can't call them on that. You can't tell them that they're having an attitude problem, because they're going to tell you that they don't, and they're going to lie, and they're just going to get worse, and they're going to do things intentionally to fuck with your growth. They're going to do things intentionally to mess with your life. And they don't have guilt, but they'll make sure that you do, and that you suffer and you struggle. And again, things will eventually balance out. But in order for you to not have that repeat again and again, or have these types of people showing up over and over, stop. You have to be the one that's like, when you notice it, when you see this thing, this cycle or something, appearing once again, don't let them in. I saw 10303. Soul family, okay? You're here to awaken others and connect with your soul family, and that is for your highest and best, but it requires healthy boundaries, saying no and cutting motherfucking cords. And Gaia needs you to ground your energy and to pay attention to the synchronicity, to awaken and ground the vortex and protect yourself, utilizing the pillar of light, so that you're safe and you're strong and you're good. And as this new beginning is happening, and energy is available for you, so ask for it. Connect with the dolphins and the whales. They are singing a song, and their song like frequencies and music is a big thing at this time that's helping people to tap into the infinite wisdom. Sound healing is going to bring you joy, which we've seen a couple times now. That's going to empower you and bring miracles about. That's going to help you to reignite the passion that maybe you felt lost from, or maybe others derailed you away from, because it's hard to be passionate when you're feeling darkness and depths and fucking afraid to be seen, afraid to exist, because God fucking forbid you exist, People don't like that, and you don't want to go through any more attacks, but you'll persevere. So don't let people take your passion. Don't let them win by hiding away, and go deeper into the depths, into the cosmic, ocean here, to transform what's under the surface, because there is shadows and things, and you are a master of transmutation. Saint Germain and the violet flame works through you. The Merkaba has been coming up a lot. You have a vehicle of light that's traveling all around you, and then, like, I had something specifically with fire that keeps coming up, and my dad and I both had said something specifically and felt something about a specific like day and time and whatever. And that lets me know, like, I'm not crazy. And if I'm getting that and he's getting that, then, like, we can do things to prevent that. But, like, then I see the Firekeeper with the Phoenix. And it says, creator of sacred transformation, guardian of the galaxy, keeper of the stars, fire in my veins, fearlessness in my heart. If we feed into fear and we don't transmute what's happening, then, we're just as much to like, we've let it happen. We've got to be aware and mindful of what we are getting, and not just be a victim of it or just succumb to it and not shift the frequency. You are here to receive and shift the frequencies of the universe, and you are here to remove the obstacles. Gam Gane Pate E Namaha. Channeling with your voice is going to eliminate the suffering and get rid of the things that might be in the way. And also, because of this instant manifestation that I've been noticing, you might want to also be aware of what you're thinking and saying. Or, it's like, because sometimes there's going to be things that, like, are other people, like, you pick up on it through a psychic channel. But when you see it, speak something else over it, so that they don't get to manifest that, because they could be trying to influence what you're thinking about and what you're seeing and what you're feeling in order to get the results they're wanting to get, because they know that you have the strong ability to manifest. Okay, so trust your inner knowing, because you probably do know this shit. You probably have felt it, but maybe you struggle to put words to it, or maybe you haven't wanted to put words to it because you've just been hiding away to keep the peace. How can I make things right? Hiding away isn't the answer, because that just means that you're fucking suffering by yourself at the hands of somebody that it doesn't matter. Because even if you do hide away, they're still going to be hateful of you and thinking nasty things and fucking up your life. You are meant to be here to enjoy your life and to love and to do it freely. You are here to awaken the collective consciousness and shift. And with the astral and the dreamer, there's a lot that's been going on. Like I said, with 7-Eleven, it started in her fucking sleep. I've been having stuff, like I was trying to tell you guys last time I made a video. I had fallen out of the bed once a couple years ago, and there was a lady that, like, jumped into me, and since then I've fallen out of the bed twice, like, recently. And I'm an adult. That's fucking weird. The first time recently that it happened, again, caught myself. The second time, I landed with the top of my foot face down on the fucking floor, and that's where the open wound is, and it hurt like a motherfucker, where I cried and screamed and was like, what the fuck, for a long time that day, because it was really, really bad. And again, your words hold wisdom and light codes. Share them with the world, because when you do share your words with the others, when you do get validation, because there are going to be people that understand, when you do speak something else into the creation, you take that power away from others to manipulate and create something that you don't want to see, or that is detrimental. So I've been doing a lot of automatic writing. Like I said, I have this thing here, which is like a big long, this is Michael and Metatron. Cutting cords, getting rid of, like, the monitoring spirits, the evil eyes, and bap. And then I have stuff from 9/11, like 911 messages and 999 messages, Akashic records. There's wisdom that we're bringing in. Your divine channel that brings in frequency as a healer. You are here to overcome and grow. So a lot of the stuff that we do go through is for a reason, but it's up to us how long we stay within it and how many times we continue to do it. It's like, do you want to be separated from your mission or united with your mission? You get to choose when that's going to become, and beat to your own drum. And you are a master of the duality and the darkness. You've been through both things here. You've been in the light, you've been in the dark. You know how to walk through the shadows. And, you may walk through that shadow, but you will not be murdered or destroyed when you're in there. And the trauma and the pain that you overcome will help you to give guidance and hope to other souls down the road. And your lived experiences are going to be unique and meaningful. So share them with others, because there's other unique and meaningful people out there that may not have anybody else that's sharing it enough, or that they're not hearing it because you're not sharing it. And that would be, again, because you've steered away from your mission and your purpose, and you need to do it so that the people that are meant to hear it from you can do so. And then the fucking feminine and masculine, again, balancing the feminine and the masculine, the good and the bad, the up and the down, the right and the left, the two sides of the fucking bird, the perspectives. Like the thing that I saw earlier, there was a person, like the guy that got out, right? They're saying, like, well, he was a hate speech person, and he was always saying this and that, and da-da-da-da-da, and he had this belief, and he had that belief, and there's people that are happy that he's gone, and happy that this happened, and da-da-da-da-da, good for him, like, serves him right. However, a teacher in Massachusetts just got fired for whatever they said about the circumstance. I didn't see what they said. I don't really care what they said. However, it seems kind of like we're, like, to have freedom of speech, right? I do believe that you should have tact. I do believe that you shouldn't be a fucking piece of shit and say bad stuff. And, like, there's stuff that people say that I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? However, like, when we're talking about a circumstance where somebody just lost their life, and everybody's like, what the hell? Like, they lost their life for sharing their truth or speaking up. We're supposed to have freedom of speech. And then a teacher loses her job for whatever she said about it, and everybody's like happy about it and like celebrating of it because, oh, good. Serves you right. It's like, that's kind of weird. Like, you want freedom of speech, right? You don't want someone to tell you what you can and can't say. And you want people to see this as an atrocity, a horrible event that happened, which it is. Nobody should be losing their life over this type of shit. If you don't fucking agree with somebody, go the hell away. It's not hard, okay? You don't need to take it into your hands. You don't need to continue to show up. Look at it. Transmute that crap. Don't be near this stuff. There's absolutely no reason. But they want you to be all fired up and separated and divided and mad and blah. And it works. And people fall for it and they go head first. However, you can't pick and choose who gets to have the freedom of their voice. Or, like, you can, but it's silly to me that people are, like, celebrating this person being punished and losing her job and her career because she shared her truth and what she thought about it, and she's not at work. She didn't say it to the kids. She just said it somewhere. And so, but at the same time, I know that when we had the thing happen, the floods with the girls at the camp, that girl had come out and was like, and that pissed me off because it was little girls that lost their life. But it could have been the same type of shit. It could have been designed in that way for her to say what she said, to get a reaction out of people like myself and everybody else that reacted, and she lost her job and all that, and she may not have. He may have been hired as an actor to play that role. And this other person that was fired here may have been hired at, and then maybe they weren't, maybe they were. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is we need to start looking at other things from other perspectives and realizing what the big problem isn't each other. It's more so that there's so much separation and divide and focus on these things that a lot of times aren't even real. It's like people are feeding into it on purpose to keep us distracted, to keep us mad at each other, because if we all come together and stand up, the fight is over, the battle's done, we won't be slaves anymore, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're listening to the people up in charge that we don't even know who they are. We will never see them, and they just live their best life, getting, the benefit of everything. There's absolutely nothing that they don't have their hands in. Okay, so trust your gnosis, believe in your power. You have the stamina that is needed, and guidance that is, going to help you to be resilient as you go through what you're going through. Get out there and share yourself with the right people. This has been a thing too, like, I could have asked and told people, like, I need help, I don't know where to go, blah, 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 but I've been fucking, like, shell-shocked and afraid to tell anybody that I'm, like, I'm looking for somewhere to go, because I don't want to go through a similar experience. I don't want someone to be like, oh yeah, and then want to hold it over me, or make me feel guilty, or fucking twist it around on me, and I don't want that shit. I've never asked for a goddamn fucking thing. I put out a post on my Facebook years ago, looking for a place to go, And I even said more amount of money than what was presented to me as the amount of money to in the place that I went to. And it's like, you know what I mean? And like hindsight, later down the road, didn't know how things would work out or how it was gonna be flippity flopped. And other stuff that happened that's just like, what the fuck? Like, this is not okay. What I didn't ask for this. I didn't want to do any of the things that are like, I don't like to feel the illness, the fatigue, the, stress, the worry, the anxiety. After being, like, led to believe things that, it's completely opposite of what they are. I don't want these misunderstandings. I don't want confusion. I don't want to be deceived. I don't want to have, thoughts and problems. I don't, I'm one of these motherfuckers that likes to solve problems. I want to innovate. I want to be clever and resourceful. I ask questions, and sometimes even that makes people fucking pissy because they don't like it, They don't like that you ask questions. They don't like that you have a fucking brain. They just want you to be like, okay, let me succumb and fucking do what everybody else wants me to do. And let me believe the bullshit that you're telling me about myself when I know that's not who I am and that's not my intention and that's not how things played, So we're unbridling, we're breaking away, we're getting motivated and driven to make our fucking wishes come true and to get inspired again and to, like, find what we need within ourselves to continue to fucking show up and speak up and stand up regardless of what's going on. And it's crazy, right? It's like you would think that, like, in certain circumstances where people want for something to happen, where they'd, like, they may not want you around in a certain circumstance or they're like mad at you. However, the thing that would help you to get out of the certain circumstance and out of these things, you can't do when you're heavily under attack or you're hiding away because you don't want your fucking existence to trigger people. But if your feet are falling off and you can't do the physical labor that you were doing as a way of avoiding, being on camera, and God forbid fucking having a notification go out that somebody might see and want to fucking, you don't really have much choice. Starving to death and having a real hard time. It's like, well, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm not that magic. I can't just fucking disappear. I know you'd like me to, and you may, think that, like, I can, but I can't. Even if I myself don't work, tried many times, it doesn't happen. I keep on fucking rising, and it don't make sense, okay? But I don't need it, don't want it. I've been cleaning and trying, doing all these things and intentions, and that's what I have set up here is to do cord cutting, Metatron, a whole little thingy, and I will share it with the peoples because I know that I need to, because it's energetic and it's physical and it's mental. And like teeth are root, feet are root. So much shit, man. Like, you can't attack someone's fucking root, their foundation, their basic needs, and their instinct, their will to survive, and all of that shit, and then expect, like, it to be easy and graceful and, like, their life just out of the boop boop doop boop. That was so quick and, painless circumstances. No, that's not what happens. So we gotta track down our fears and our desires so that we can fucking mess up the fear, get them out of there, and go towards our desires. And we gotta take care of our needs, and that's what I've been trying to do to the best of my ability without being a piece of shit asshole. Don't want to be one of those, but I also know that sometimes things play out in a certain way that I'm not that, but people might think that, or people might project that or want to believe that when in reality I'm not that, wasn't that, didn't ever intend to be that. But because of the way that things play out and the way that, stuff happens, you end up, not being the best of the best, right? It's like, it's out of your hands sometimes. However, if we want to change that and get into the place of an abundance, we need to be able to have the faith and the trust and connect and work and stand our fucking ground and speak up and show up and not let the bullshit, derail us too much or hide away too much. We gotta take charge with authority, regardless if we can feel the daggers, regardless if we can feel the evil eye, regardless of what the fuck is going on out there. We can set our sights higher. We can acknowledge what has been done, to us and around us, and what we feel about that is valid, just like what everybody else is feeling about what they feel and think about all the circumstances happening in the world is valid, and we're not alone, and we know we're not alone, and that the guardian angels are with us, supporting us and protecting us and guiding us, because because we are meant to rise, we're meant to be in the light, we were meant to be doing this all along, but a lot of times there's gonna be people that fucking pop up on the way and fuck with you. Again, to this. Earlier today, I wanted to know what my 7-Eleven would come to show me. And I wrote down some of the stuff, and I was getting anything that was like white and pure. And that was the white wolf, and I got the feather. And I specifically was getting like a lot of like sparkly, like glowy things, silver and gold, and like orbs. Basically, anything to do with like sparklies and stuff. You see like the little sparklies in the background of here? See how she's got like the stars? So it was like stars, white, anything glowing, fairies, like butterflies, moths, swans, just like certain stuff, and the sacred geometry too. So, like the Metatron's cube and the things to do with like the Merkaba, like I said, the stars, and I had gotten quite a few cards, but one of the ones that I had specifically pulled out was the Loyalty Forever Yours, and again, it was a white dog, and the stars, and the inspiration, and there was a lot of cards from this deck, specifically, that had, like, I got, the spirit communication, paying attention, seeing, this and that, and so, my fucking mouth hurts so bad. I gotta find a dentist. It hurts. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this shit, man. Somebody just fucking... So I got Anubis, quartz, the ancient pillars, tiny white like bellflowers, bees and dreams, the illuminated light, mind and body sparkles, divine guidance, white and silver, purity, divine intelligence, mice and fairies, love, companion, reverence, kindness, the arrows, 33, asking for help, taking baby steps, candles, praise, the lotus, discipline, armor, metal, the poinsettia, the diamond light, wealth and prosperity, the mushrooms and fae, intention, hitting the mark, swan, queen, intuition, patience, discernment, clear vision, details, the dragonflies, the joyful activities, the celebrations of life, resting tree, the knife, the mask, the middle armor, preparation and prayer, sacred rituals, the Hawkeye, communication, spirit eyes, paying attention, things within the smoke, the feathers in the wings, the angelic help, the miraculous aid, the dove, the pillars, the pure, the flute, orbs, wooden boxes, circuitous root, perception, spirals, moths, butterflies, stars, lights, white animals, letting go and going with the flow, the mermaids, tiny dragons, and light bulbs and water. And yeah, my face fucking hurts right now. And I do have notes for different things. There's certain stuff that I feel like people have been doing that can be helping some of these things that I've got here. I made notes specifically for like the 9/11 stuff and the 9/99, and then I have other ones in this one, like Melchizedek, Metatron, Michael, and then like stuff in here too. Lots of notes, cards, candles. I have the things pulled out. Oh yeah, this one. So I need to ice my face. And then I'm going to try to do this. I also have to do some other stuff. I don't know if I'll get it done tonight because my face really hurts. But I don't know. I'm going to try because I would like to have it done for myself at least. But I will see you guys soon.